Movement Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. Air Movement Fabrications, an official partner with Primetime Racing TV. Custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist, an official partner with Primetime Racing TV. Welcome, race fans, back to Primetime Racing TV here tonight with the Hardline Racing League from the Sonoma Raceway. These guys turning left and right here tonight on the road course here. Very tricky road course, might I add. Joining me in the booth tonight, as always, is Corey Silva and Evan Black, and we're ready to see some awesome road course action here tonight.
First time in the history of PTRTV that we will be turning both directions on the track, so something new for us, something that I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of a road course driver in my own sense, so let's see how these Hardline guys can pick this track tonight.
Yeah, kind of like Brandon was saying, this track is really fun, but it is also really tough. It's really slick, and it's hard to get those rear tires to grip.
Also, with the iRacing update the other day, we had the massive build change, and the Monster Energy Cup cars were very heavily impacted by that, so there's even less grip now than we had before. So on these slow turns, it's going to be really like walking on eggshells with the gas pedal.
Track temp is a little bit cooler than what it usually is. I'm showing 72 degrees air temp and 94 track. Usually it's around 104 track temp, so that's going to help them a little bit.
Turns to watch out for at the Sonoma Raceway is always number 11, which is the final hairpin. You will see these drivers going for those passes there. Best passing zone on the track also is turns 6 and 7, which are the chute, two 90-degree right-handers. You'll see a lot of action there as well.
So as qualifying goes on, I think some of the fastest guys here, the fastest guy in practice anyways, was the 24 machine of Thomas Bressy. He's out there doing laps right now. You'll see probably a couple different new faces that we wouldn't normally see up towards the front of this thing now that these guys are on a track that brings a whole separate skill level to it. But if you can wheel one of these things around here and keep the rear end underneath you, chances are you're going to be fast.
It's going to be a race both of attrition and a race of patience, because you may see an opportunity to get a run on somebody. You might just think, well, if I give it that little 1% extra of throttle, maybe I can get that run. But that 1% extra very well can loop you around on exit.
Starting to get some qualifying times in right now. 2 drivers made a lap, 3 drivers, 4 drivers now. Thomas Press at the top of the charts by 0.8 of a second. Really good lap for him.
Nick Massey in second right now with a 1:17.879. Thomas Bresci so far holds the pole position with a 1:17.371. Bresci completing his second lap right now, or will be here very soon. Looks like he's got a really good lap going right now as well. Very consistent Thomas Bresci is through the corners is something that I'm noticing as well as he turns these laps.
That is the key on the road courses. You want to get into a rhythm kind of similar to a short track or even a dirt track. You need to get into your groove, because that groove is going to keep you running those decent times, keeping the car under control, and probably leads you to the best lap times.
Thomas Bresci comes through the final corner right now. Let's see if he can up his time a little bit. Comes down through the final little corner there, and
yes, just a little bit quicker.
About a 1/10 quicker that time by.
That's faster than even practiced.
Yeah, Bresci looking really good to hold this pole position right now. But with about 5 minutes left of qualifying, Evan, let's take a look at our point standing so far.
All right, so after race 8 Talladega, Cole Bagunia is currently leading the points by 11 points over Shane Taryn. And then Bryro Pratt is back 2 from him, and then Joshua Adams and Thomas Bresci are the top 5.
6 is Dustin Johnson, Kyle Souza in 7th. 8th is Tyler Hensley, 9th is Rusty Capel, and Nick Massey rounding out the top 10 in points. Something to bring up, I don't think we will be seeing Dustin Johnson racing in this series anymore. League officials gave him the boot, I believe, for being a little bit over-aggressive towards drivers, and I believe starting a couple incidents there, some feuds going on there, and league officials did not like the attitude towards that, so they told him, all right, you're not going to race here if you're going to act like that.
Yeah, and sometimes if you're a fast driver, I mean, that's great and all. I mean, we saw Dustin Johnson win some races, but you have to respect your competitors. You have to get along with the league and how it is sanctioned. So it does stink to lose a fast driver off the track, but it may be better for the league in the long term.
And something new to bring up now. This league has been known to end the stage, and the stage will end at lap 15 today, coming to lap 16. And this league does not normally throw a caution at the end of the stage, but today they are. League officials deciding just now that that would be the best option to stack the fields back up, because that's road courses. On iRacing, we do not have full course yellows. We have the local cautions, and that is it. So league officials have decided to throw the full course caution here after the end of the stage, lap 15 coming to lap 16, and I think it'll be for the better.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, because the fields here at road courses, especially Sonoma, can get really spread out.
So let's take something else into consideration, guys, that we put in every week. Now that we guaranteed to have that caution to get the field bunched up, allowing guys to come to pit road, we do have what I believe is a 75% fuel load in these machines, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So that leads us to our favorite question. How is this going to affect the fuel mileage? Because we're going to have to go 25 laps to the end. Do we think we can go 25 laps to the end?
Well, usually I believe you can go around between 22 and 25 laps. So that'd probably be around 13 to 15-ish, I would think.
I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe your estimates are a little low there, Evan. I want to say it's about lap 30 to 35, but again, we're not crew chiefs, so I think it's going to be right on the money. That's my guess, but again, I'm not in the car right now. Neither is Evan, so we'll...
Yeah, the drivers are really the only ones that know what's up right now, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see a little bit of fuel conservation going on here. We've seen it in other leagues that we've covered here before, and I'm sure these guys, you know, wouldn't mind a little bit of strategy play going on here today at the road course.
Something you see in real world quite a bit. I remember seeing some races on the real world back in the day. You see drivers they set their strategies on road courses backwards. A lot of times you will see drivers play out the race from the end. You'll start at the end of the race and then plan your strategy to decide what your pit stops are. So there may be drivers that decide from lap 1, I am saving full blown, because that's going to end up getting me to the end of the race. And also worth noting, Michael Fenlison, quite the time from him, not on the pole, but very close to what Bressie ran.
Yeah, he picked up almost a full second over what he ran in practice. Real good lap for him. And qualifying has come to an end.
League officials advancing the qualifying session, everybody turning a lap now, and so we'll get you today's PTRTV starting lineup here today from the Sonoma Raceway.
On the pole today is Thomas Bressie with a 1 minute 17.29 seconds. Our congratulations to the driver of the 24 machine, Michael Fenlison, as we said, to the outside of the front row. Then we have... there we have Nick Massey in third, Shane Tarrant in fourth, Cole Bagunia in fifth, Tyler Hensley in sixth. In the fourth row, we have Josh Adams and Justin Munsell. And then rounding out the top 10 is Casey Shue and Briar LaPrade.
Joe Holloway starting in 11th, Nick Olson in 12th, and Cody Tabor in 13th, rounding out the field.
Small field here today from the Sonoma Raceway, but are these guys ready to put on a show here tonight? And I think we're going to see some really good action, some really good racing up front here. Thomas Bressie showing all the speed in his race car right now, but some of the guys up front not too far behind. The top 3 pretty close together right now, and don't count out some of the guys like Shane Tarrant, Cole Bagunia, Tyler Hensley, and even some of the guys coming from the back. We saw Josh Adams. You know, he's able to usually come from the back of the pack here tonight, and Briar LaPrade is normally right up front with these guys, so we'll see what all those guys can do on a road course here tonight as well.
I do think you will see many of these drivers deciding to take this first stage, which as we said is now 15 laps, just to feel out the car. With the small field, you're not going to lose too many spots, so just keep the car on the track, find your limits, learn the tire wear, then come into the pits and really go for it on the second stage.
So a longer pace lap here around the Sonoma Raceway, and these guys gonna stay single file for the majority of this road course, I would believe, but trying to make their way through these corners here, and they'll get stacked up, doubled up, and ready to go green flag racing here once they get towards the final corner.
Behind the roof iRacing pace car today.
Yeah, and we're at a road course, so why not? Let the Mustang have a break for a little bit.
Still be nice to see that pace truck out there, if I do say so myself, but...
Oh no, I agree, but unfortunately at iRacing, we can't have that for dirt tracks yet.
To quote Dale Jarrett's sales pitch from the 2000s era, we want to race the truck. Or pace the truck. There we go. We want to pace the truck.
Pace car making its way into the final corner. It ducks its way down into the Sonoma Raceway pit road. These guys got a little bit of ways to go before they get to the restart zone. Thomas Bressie onto the throttle already. Really early here from Sonoma. They're underway.
He did have... Yeah, I'm sorry, Evan.
Thomas Bressie was able to time that start really well and jump way ahead of second place of Michael Finlayson.
Remember, the leaders have discretion to go when they choose now as a rule change we had a couple weeks ago, so he used every opportunity to go right away, and you can see the lead he's already accomplished.
Yeah, remember, we will have a competition caution here at the end of lap 15. That is the end of the stage. These guys probably just going to play it out until then.
Yeah, everybody single file. This is a very tight turn right now. There's a very big tire wall that juts out at you. You really have to stay as close to the right as possible there. Everyone did do a good job avoiding that.
Bressi continuing to pull away, now has
Justin
about a second lead.
Munsell just hopped the curb there over the S's and
he went around.
Let's go back and follow that from the 22. Remember, very good finish for him in Contender on Wednesday night. See, he's coming here through the S's and just got loose, hopped the curb, got on two wheels there, got back on the track, and then lost it.
Wow, yeah, he had a lot of airtime there trying to keep control of his car, and didn't play out too well for him now.
Those S's are some of the trickiest parts on this racetrack.
Yeah, the very rhythmic section of the course there, you have to really nail it, and you also have to worry about your wheel spin there. In these Gen 6 machines, really wheel spin's an issue at every corner.
Yes, it most definitely is, as Bressi is continuing to size his lead out. He's got about a 1.6 second lead now.
Battle heating up for the second position as Fenlison is under fire from Nick Massey in the 48 as they go through turn 5, I believe that to be, through the S's here. Let's see if Massey can't set him up to get into the prime passing zone, which is the hairpin.
Hairpin, one of the best places to pass. You can dive it in deep and get on the right rear quarter panel.
Massey's trying to get right up to his back bumper. Maybe we'll have an opportunity this time, Pie. Don't want to get too aggressive too early, but you got to do what you got to do to get the positions here. And he's then a ride behind the 13 machine right to his back bumper into turn 11.
13 of Fenlison got a little bit better of a run out of that corner. Massey got a little bit loose.
As we talked about Massey just getting a little overzealous, trying to get a little bit better run off the hairpin, and you could see what it did for him in the negative direction. Lost quite a bit of time. But then quite the gap, with Massey being in third, quite the gap all the way back to Bagunia. Bagunia is 4 seconds off of Massey right now. And then behind him we have Tyler Hensley, who is going to have Shane Taryn on his back bumper. Still about a battle going there from 5th to 8th, not separated by too much.
One thing with Bressi, how far of a lead he's getting. Him and Finlayson were pretty close in times in the qualifying. I wonder if Bressi is burning up his tires a little bit more than Finlayson is.
Now you could play one of two strategies here onto the road courses, and you could hold back, save your tires, let these guys go around you and come back at them towards the end of the run here, or you can try to get as far away from the field as you can, and you'll burn up your stuff a little bit quicker, but you'll have that advantage going in towards the end of this run.
Yeah, tires here are way more important than a place like Watkins Glen.
Yeah, this is a turning track. Watkins Glen is mainly straightaways, a couple little kinks and a couple braking zones, but here you're constantly turning here. Those Goodyear Eagles are working at max capacity at all times. So any extra load you're putting on them will come back to haunt you.
See, we had our first casualty. The Devils there of Nick Olson went around on the front stretch and has gone behind the wall.
Try to go back to what happened to Nick Olson.
Ouch, yeah, that was a... He lost it all by himself going down the front straightaway. Hit the wall pretty good. There wasn't too much damage, but he wanted to get out of the way, and he parked it for the night.
Bressi now out to a 2-second lead. Is on cruise control in that number 24 machine at the moment, so 11 laps left in this stage. So at this point he's just really need to keep that car in between the walls and on the track and prepare for the stage and the second segment, but that is easier said than done.
Yeah, it sounds like he's short shifting a little bit just so he can take less of a risk on getting wheel spin off the corners.
And that's one thing that you have to take into consideration here at Sonoma Raceway, more so than a lot of other places around here, but any other road courses that NASCAR goes to, and you know, the elevation change going downhill to uphill, and a lot of wheel going into these corners here. It's very, very easy to get the rear end to kick out on you, and short shifting really does help with that.
Trying to go back here, guys, a little bit and see what happened to Nick Olson. Kind of struggling to see what did happen to him.
I believe it's on lap 3.
Yes.
That helps.
See him cruising here, and well, we have some time to go over it, but well, regardless of that, tried to find it. Couldn't quite. Apologies for that, but
See, Finlayson, he was a little bit quicker the last lap, but it looks like Bressie started to pull away once again.
bring up the battle tracker right now. This last time by, Bressie with an 18.5 to Finlayson's 19.7. So obviously not the lap Finlayson wanted. Well, I don't know whether that is a pace thing or whether he just had a bad lap. Obviously that is pretty easy to do here on a track with this many corners.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure because he was about 3/10 quicker the last lap.
Battle is heating back up for the 4th position. Hensley is doing his best and closing quite rapidly on the back of the 48 of Massey here as we go to the top of the hill and into the chute.
Tyler Hensley trying to show what he can do on the road courses here at Sonoma. Takes that corner a little bit wider. It looked like Massey got a little bit better of a run. Hensley shoving it really hard into this corner, and it seems to pay off for him.
Massey getting a little bit of a better run out of that corner. Hensley dropping off just a little bit. Let's see if we can get back to him for the hairpin.
Yep, through turn 9 here, I believe, into 10, which is the right-hander sweeper, and then we're going to go into the straightaway for the hairpin, but he will not be nearly close enough for a move, but hopefully he can get himself close enough for a setup on the next lap.
Hensley diving it into these corners and getting a big run on entry of these corners, and maybe one thing that is helping Massey is he's setting the car into the corner early. He's able to get that big run off, and that's where all of his speed is coming from.
Now this is the closest battle on the track here as we go up the hill into this little left-right flick here. Did we go down and then immediately uphill? This is the hardest turn on the track, or one of them. This is a blind right-hander, excuse me. Drops you right downhill there. Very easy to go wide as the car gets really light.
In that corner right there, it's real easy to hit that curve on the right just a little bit too hard, and you'll end up in the wall.
Go on board here for a lap or so and just kind of follow Tyler Hensley as he's in this quest for the third position.
He got a little bit loose out of that last corner. He had to give up a little bit of ground that time, and it looks like he's trying to gain what he lost back here now.
You can see Massey went a little wide there in that right-hander here. Didn't really lose too much time, but here we go into the hardest braking zone on the track, into the right-hander hairpin. And you can see Hensley really close to him in the center, but Massey gets the run off there as he approached it a little bit different.
Yeah, Hensley driving it into these corners really, really hard here, and while that does give you the advantage on entry, you tend to lose all that speed on exit.
Cody Tabor is kind of as predicted here by a little bit. He is already, looks like, done for the race. He did turn a couple laps though. I think he turned 3 or 4 laps, so good job for him at least. He gave it the old college try. That leaves 11 drivers on track now. We have might as well just go through the field here. We have time to do so. We have Bressie on lap number 8 leading the race. Finlayson in 2nd, Nick Massey in 3rd, Tyler Hensley in 4th, Cole Begunia in 5th, Shane Tarrant in 6th, Brian Laprade in 7th, and Josh Adams, Casey Shue, Joel Holloway, and Justin Munsell rounding out the field. Again, Nick Olson in the 00, and Cody Tabor off the racetrack.
Nick Olsen has gone behind the wall, but Cody Tabor is still on pit road. So I don't know if he's trying to get some damage fixed and get back out there or not.
That is kind of Cody Tabor style. He usually just parks it in the pits, but doesn't actually go anywhere. We've seen in races past, so.
He does like to sit there. Cody Tabor is the league owner, and I think he does like to kind of manage these races from outside of the car if he can, so.
Oh, just to confirm, Cody Tabor is getting 11 minutes of damage repaired. So Evan Black, you are correct. Your prize is...
Nothing.
Good job. High five.
Good job.
Best battle on the track remains the battle for third and fourth between Hensley and Massey. The gap, honestly, between the two of them hasn't really changed too much. Seems one gets a little bit, one gives a little bit back. So
yeah, it seems like they're kind of starting to trade the lap times a little bit. One's quicker one lap, and then the next up the other's quicker.
It seems like Massey is able to get on the throttle a little bit quicker through these corners, or out of these corners, I should say, and it seems to really be helping him.
Massey through the dirt there.
Yeah, I was going to say he took a little bit of a ride through the dirt there, the gravel, and that slowed him down a little bit.
You can see here from this shot.
Hensley driving in deep.
Oh my God, locks him up there.
Hensley really wanted to try to make up ground, and he drove it in really deep, wasn't quite able to get to the back bumper that time, and he's going to lose all that momentum on corner exit.
To quote a horrible pop song, he came in like a wrecking ball there, and if he was any closer to that, he would have dive bombed into the back of the 48's bumper, but he did do a good job getting that thing loaded up.
And he still gained just a little bit of ground on him.
But doing so, you figure that is gonna have to aggravate those tires going in that deep and locking them up.
Yeah, about 6 laps left to go to the stage, 5.5 now, and you know, I'm sure that it's coming down to where these guys they're gonna try to get as many positions as they can before the yellow flies.
It looks like overall Hensley has maybe taken a car length off that lead, which is still, again, it's not much. It is fluctuating, but I do think net gain is going to Hensley's advantage. But as I say that, Massey's pulled away good distance in the S's.
Yeah, Hensley got a little bit loose in those S's, then it forced him to go wide in the next corner.
But back
and
up.
Massey goes wide.
Back up front, nothing has changed except the fact that the gap has grown. Right now, the gap over second place is 4.2 seconds over Fenlison. So again, Bresci is just in cruise control here. Shades of Jeff Gordon in the early 2000s at Sonoma, where he pretty much called this place his own. It's actually quite the track to visit in real life. I had the privilege of coming here in 2014. I sat at the top of the hill in turn 2 there. It's actually, for a road course, this is actually an excellent track in person. You can really see a good portion of it from any seat you're in, and there's always action, at least, well, you have a full-size field. There's action everywhere.
Yeah, I would think being on top of that hill in turn 2, you'd be able to see pretty much all the track.
Seems like my song went over well in chat, so I will add that one to the arsenal. People like when I said I came in like a wrecking ball, so added to the Corey Silva list of song racing analogies.
We know how hard you think about those analogies.
Yes, I have another one queued up, but I haven't seen a reason to say it yet. So
the fact that you have to think about them for that long.
Yeah.
Hey, my quick wit's starting to fade at my old age, man.
You're like 20-something.
Yeah, man. I'm almost 30, bro. I don't know how you kids talk these days. I'm already out of it. Looks like Massey has gained a little bit of an advantage over Hensley. The gap, which was about 4 to 5 tenths, is nearly a second at the moment. But it looks like going back to where Briar LaPrade is racing, he is only a second or so behind Shane Taryn right now. Last time by, actually, LaPrade had about 2.5 tenths on Taryn, so that may be a battle worth focusing on towards the end of the stage.
See, Hensley is catching Massey a little bit. He's got it down to only about a half second.
This is the closest battle right now onto the racetrack still. Hensley with a pretty good run out of that corner. He spun to the tires, but in a way that actually helped him grab the momentum off the corner.
Yeah, this is the closest he's been. He got through the chute very well, and he's holding his ground through the S's here. This will be the best chance he does have to dive it in the hairpin.
Getting ready to come up towards the hairpin now. Let's see if he can close that gap. He follows Massey.
Oh, Massey goes wide.
Massey goes wide under the pressure. Maybe gonna try to let him by. No, Massey has the run off the corner. Hensley not quite gonna get there.
I think Massey might have just found a new line there. Running the second groove through the hairpin.
Yeah, I didn't think that would ever be a thing.
Yeah, he kind of takes a look, even with that wider approach, which you would never think to work. It might give him enough of a wide exit there where he can get a little bit more throttle down. Stage is wrapping up. It should be 2 laps to go approximately in the stage, 2 to 3 depending on how they want to call it. So we'll let you know what that happens. But these guys are actively fighting for this what could be a pivotal point in the standings.
Yeah, 1 extra point in the playoffs or chase or whatever they call it in this league.
Yeah, if you call it the chase, Brandon will take your head off if it's not the case. Or to us old people, it's still the Winston Cup. But
Thomas Bressy making his way across the stripe now up front. This is going to be 2 laps to go into the stage here.
And I do want to focus again, guys. The battle for 6th position with Bressy and LaPrade is just about as good as the battle with Hensley and Massey here. About a half a second separating these 2 drivers. See here, LaPrade got a little overzealous on the loud pedal there at the exit of the hairpin. Lost some of the ground that he had gained.
Yeah, he lost a couple tenths off of that corner.
Then going back here, oh, Hensley really dove it in there, going down the hill there into that little kink. Now top of the hill, got a pretty good run there, but that was a close call for Hensley. Correction playoffs.
See?
1 extra point for the playoffs.
Someone in chat asked what we have missed so far, so we'll give a quick race recap. You've missed Thomas Bressy putting on a clinic right now, up by about 5 seconds. We've had a great battle with Nick Massey and Hensley for the majority of this race, which we have been focusing on. And then we do have Nick Olson out of the race and Cody Tabor fixing some damage, hoping to get up there.
And this is going to be 1 lap to go, stage number 1.
Again, oh, go ahead, Brandon.
I was going to say Thomas Bressy on a rocket here tonight so far. The first 15 or 14 laps of this thing so far, and he's just been cruising out front, extending his lead every lap. And it doesn't look like tires were a huge issue for him so far, and I think pushing this an extra 10 laps or 15 laps, whatever we said it may be for a fuel run, wouldn't have been an issue for him.
Yeah, he seems to have that thing very well under control. Again, this is the white flag in the stage, and we throw the white flag because this will throw a caution. This is the only time in the Hardline Racing League where we will have a caution at the end of the stage. So coming through the S's to wrap up stage 1 is Thomas Bressy with a 5-second lead.
I see the 22 of Justin Munsell is hit road. I wonder if he's making a strategy call and going to try and get out there and not put under the caution.
Yeah, that is a very good road course strategy. Here comes Bressy.
Here comes Thomas Bressy giving up a stage point, maybe.
Let's see. Nope, here comes Fenlison. Is anybody going to stay out for the stage win? Well, someone's going to win the race, but who's it going to be?
Bressy may get. Bressy has to cross the stripe to get.
Massey is going to stay out.
I think Bressy will still get the
stage
win.
Yeah,
Thomas Bressy on the pit road is still going to get the stage win.
And we're going to have a photo finish for the stage. No, we do not. Thomas Bressy with a very...
That is one of the more unique things that I've seen. And once the 10th car passes the line, or right now, Cody Tabor is going to throw the yellow flag here.
Massey did get second, though.
Have you ever?
No, I've never.
Stage win on pit road.
Now, yeah, words help me.
And by the end of this thing, he should still have the lead. I would think.
Yeah, I think he will.
So the
Massey's
stage
gonna
win
come to
and
earth.
the lead, all because he pitted under the last lap of the stage, got the stage win.
Do you think
I'm impressed.
Do you think he calculated that, or was that just dumb luck?
Dumb luck, I
I think it was luck. I'm impressed either way that happened, but.
So right now, Massey, Hensley, Begunia, and Taryn did not pit, so they will ultimately get the best of the stage points. Actually, no, because that's going to be thrown off. So the stage points are thrown off with Bresci because he got the win on that. But the top 4 do have to pit, or do they?
That's a good point. They could be doing this on a one. Well, I guess
They would be at a pretty big disadvantage tire
Yeah.
lines, because if you look at the lap times that Thomas Bresci was turning, they were pretty steadily decreasing or increasing in time-wise.
Can my broadcast partners help me out with where the pace car is right now? If there is a pace car.
the pace car is going up the hill now.
Up here it is.
Takes a while for these guys to catch the pace car here on the road courses.
That roof pace car might actually have a little better turning ability than these cup cars, so they might have to fight to keep up with it.
Well, you ever seen that the pace car drift at Daytona
Yeah,
Monday night?
Oh yeah, that was pretty slick.
literally.
I see what you did there. So, like we were saying, you're gonna have to pit one more time. We are
Maybe.
assuming. Actually, we have a 70.
Can they go 24 laps? That's the question.
I think these guys are literally struggling to catch the pace car
Oh,
right now.
yeah, they actually won't have to, Evan, because remember, we're going to go back green. This should still be a full duration caution. I would assume it should be 3 laps or so of yellow, so we won't go green, honestly, till probably lap 20. I'd have to imagine they can go 20 laps.
I think if they pit now, they should all be good.
So here comes Massey, here comes the top, well, the 4 drivers up front that have not pitted thus far. So Bresci will go back to the lead position. And while we are under a, what should be a pretty good size yellow flag distance at the road course, we will go to a commercial break. So again, stay with us. We'll be back with you for the restart. And we're back here on PTRTV, and we are behind the iRacing.com pace car. I had to think about that for a second. Thank you, Brandon. Through the S's here.
Anytime.
Through the S's here, we're doubled up, stacked up, and ready for stage 2.
The start of stage 2 here coming up now, and yeah, these guys ready to go.
Have around 21 laps left in this race. All will be run under the green flag.
So we saw what Bressy can do here with the first 15 laps of this thing under green. I'm sure going an extra 5 will not be an issue for him at all. Ready to get back onto the throttle here. They're underway. Green flag back in the air.
Bressy got loose on that restart.
They're going to be even across the line that time by Fenelson with the advantage going into turn number 1.
Up the hill, Bressy has the left, and he will be able to clear. I think Fenelson cut him a break there. But that was a tight call.
Fenelson not getting up quite yet. He's going to hang out of the back bumper of the 24 machine now, coming up through the squiggly bits. I don't know.
Side by side here is Bagunya and Munsell here. There's a little bit of contact here over the blind corner there going down the hill. They're side by side entering the chute.
They're gonna figure that one out very quickly. Yeah, a little bit of contact was made, and now, don't look now, here comes the 88 underneath the 38 of Taryn.
Dives in the passing zone there in turn 6 or 7. Sorry, I don't remember that offhand, but here comes Taryn to clear here. That battle has seized itself out, but these guys trying to make every opportunity possible through the restart here once these cars are as close as they'll ever be to each other.
Once everything gets so spread out, is really, really hard to pass here.
Here comes Hensley trying to get to the back bumper of Massey still. This battle hasn't settled out yet. Massey goes high, Hensley ducks underneath. They're going to be side by side on the final corner.
Hard to get the power down on the inside line there for Hensley, but he is able to hold pretty good ground. Almost hit the wall there through the start-finish little segment there. And this battle doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I'm looking at this battle. Looks like it's going to go the whole entire race at this point. Massey got a little loose there. Caution.
Caution.
Briar LaPrade.
Adams blew an engine.
Briar LaPrade is backwards on the front straightaway.
88 of Joshua Adams got loose. Come to the start finish.
Oh my God, that was a hard lick.
So remember what I said about there not being full course yellows?
Yeah,
Cody threw it.
I think this is a good reason for a full course yellow.
As well as is that the 66 of Joel Holloway.
The 51 is backwards. The 88 was involved. The 66, the 12 was also involved in that mess. I think a very good reason for a full course yellow there. Props to league officials.
That was brutal. And do these guys, were they offered a fast repair for this race here at Sonoma?
They were not.
So that'll take out.
Brutal wreck, as you said, Corey. Oh my, oh my.
And that's going to take out 3 drivers right there, most likely.
I just noticed how the 51 machine was involved. He was involved well after that wreck happened. I believe it was the 12 machine trying to get turned around, and he hit the 51.
So now they've got around 3 laps on these tires. Do they pit? That is the question.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't expecting any full course yellows after the competition caution. Nothing I really thought about. Obviously, I give props to league officials for throwing that caution. A very good reason to have a full course yellow here at the Sonoma Raceway. Very, very hard wreck down there. And so, yeah, I guess this is all in the driver's hands now. And I'm sure a lot of them are either going to try to play with or against Bressy here. I'm sure we'll see maybe a 50-50 split.
I think these drivers are going to have to do the opposite of whatever Bressi does.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way they can beat him.
Passing him.
Yeah, right now the stint for these drivers was 6 laps, but only really 2 of those were under green, so I don't know how much the caution is going to have to affect the tires, but as you guys said, at this point, I mean, you got to play your cards, because at this point, Bressi has a full deck, well, full hand, full house poker.
Yeah,
a full thing.
Full house, that's what I meant to say. That's a good hand. Yes. See how much I play poker.
I do believe pit road is open, so Bressi stays out.
And per expected, a couple people hit the cones there, but the entire field, everyone's trying to throw Bressi out to dry here, but I'm still not going against him here, even on slightly older tires.
I think 2 laps, that's going to have some effect. I don't know how much it will.
But we have to take into account the tires versus, and I don't want to say this in a demeaning way, driver skill factor. Bressi just has him beat today. Bressi can road this car seemingly better than anybody else, so can those new tires overcome what probably is the speed difference in these guys?
I think Finlayson might be the only driver that will be able to hang with him.
And Finlayson did not get off pit lane first. Shane Taryn will be able to take that crown, and I believe he took 2 tires.
Yeah, it looks like he did. He had a 10.4 second pit stop, while Finlayson had a 14.8. And
as you can just look at a couple guys who are involved, Joel Holloway there has absolutely nothing left to the front of that machine. Joshua Adams is obviously got some heavy damage going on, and who was the last one? Briar LaPrade has officially taken it behind the wall.
Shane Taryn did take 2 right side tires. Usually don't see that very much here at road courses.
We have someone in chat asking about the fuel range right now, and we had a stage 1 caution at lap 15. We did not go green till about lap 20, so we don't expect fuel to be the concern right now. The only concern that Bressi may have is, again, Finlayson being the 2nd fastest driver on the track with a couple lap fresher tires. Is that advantage going to be enough for Finlayson to be able to do anything?
It's gonna be tough to figure out, because the 13 of Finlayson, he was able to keep up with him on that restart. With 2 lap fresher tires, will he be able to pass him?
These are the questions.
Find out probably here in a lap or 2.
Yeah, these questions we will figure out once we go back green, which should be
lights are out
this coming lap. Josh Adams still has not made his way back onto the track yet, so we currently have 9 drivers remaining on track now. We'll just give you a quick rundown. That'd be Bressi, Taryn, Massey, Finlayson, Munsell, Hensley, Begunia, Shu, Holloway, actually that would be it at the end of Holloway being the last drivers in this race. Actually no, and Holloway's in the pit, so only 8 drivers on track.
No, Holloway's on track.
Oh, he is? He made it out there with that car?
Yeah, it looks like he's driving a modified, but he's out there.
Wow. That pit crew put in some overtime to get that thing fixed in time. Fixed as it could be anyways.
Yeah, so he's driving a modified.
So up front here to these guys, stacked up, doubled up, ready for the restart here. Not something I thought I'd have to use very much tonight, but yeah. I don't mind seeing these yellows here and there at a road course. We don't normally get that in iRacing, and something that's kind of stacks the field back up, I don't mind seeing, but that was a very good reason for it. That was a very large-scale wreck down on the front straightaway.
You can see here, this is who we have left in the field after that, so we'll see as there's will be 16 laps to go here at Sonoma for the Hardline Cup Series, sponsored by Fast Track Sims. We'll see what goes on here. Remember, the tire advantage is in the favor of everybody in the field besides Bressi, so pace car is in. We await for the green flag to fly as they exit the hairpin, and Bressi's on the loud pedal. We're back green flag racing.
Taryn did not get going at all. He's on those 2 tires. I'm guessing he spun the tires.
Yeah, Fenelison with another great restart there as well. He's going to be right on the back bumper of Bresci going into turn number 1.
Taryn drove it in deep to get back up to the back bumper of Fenelson. He's going to lose it on exit, though.
Now, guys, just as a clarification right now, Bresci is on lap 9 on his run right now. Fenelson, including the caution laps, is only 2 laps in, so that is the tire differential now. So we will have to see if it actually is going to affect this race at all.
They're going to be 2 by 2, almost 3 wide back Tyler Hensley.
This has been the money battle all race with Massey and Hensley. Right now, Massey for the first time has actually made it ahead of the 48 machine.
Hensley just got by him, and they were almost 3 wide when Hensley was trying to make the pass. The 22 machine wanted a piece of the action, and he thought about looking to the outside, and he thought better of it because they would have been 3 wide.
3 wide into that corner pretty much never works.
Things get single file now, but Nick Massey looking to maybe make a comeback in the 5 machine to Tyler Hensley. He drives it in hard there, but the 22 drives it in even harder, almost right to the rear bumper of the 48 machine.
Thought the 22 of Munsell was going to maybe go for a crossover there, high-low on exit, but it looks like he just drove it in deep, missed his marks, actually lost all the ground that he may have gained. But going up front, Fenelson is doing a good job. He is closing in. He was about 9/10 back on the first lap. He's only 2/3 of a second, even a half second behind now.
Will he be able to do anything with Bresci with those 4 tires?
Fenelson doing an awesome job here under the Sonoma Raceway tonight's Thomas Bresci just has a lot of speed in that race machine, and Fenelson trying to catch what is the fastest guy on the racetrack, driving it into the corners hard. He gets right to the back bumper there. Can he hold it on exit?
Fenelson losing a little bit of ground on exit through the S's. He's gaining back a little bit more.
Bresci coming out of the S's now, and Fenelson falls back just a little bit, but he may have an opportunity to catch back up to the rear bumper of the 24 machine coming into the hairpin.
The gap now 7/10 of a second. Fenelson has lost a little bit of ground that he has gained through the hairpin. Looks like both of them do a pretty good job running consistent lines there, so no time to be exchanged at the hairpin. At the line should still be 3/4 of a second.
Lap starting to tick away here after the Sonoma Raceway, the road course race for these guys this season, and it's been a pretty interesting one so far. These guys doing a really good job of racing it out here tonight, and Fenelson is not falling too far behind Bresci this time. Bresci may have some competition here.
We'll see maybe after around 10 laps or so on if these tires even out or Fenelson gets a little bit better.
We'll say I thought for a second there Massey was going to take another stab at the 48. Excuse me, Massey taking a stab at the 5. He gained some time. He has lost it here, trying to get right back to the back bumper here through the chute, exiting turn number 5.
Massey was able to get to the rear bumper of the 5 machine on entry of the corner there. He got a little bit loose on exit. He threw the S's here, trying to gain the momentum once again. Tyler Hensley coming to the back bumper of, I believe,
Shane Taryn.
Shane Taryn now. Hensley right onto the back bumper of the 38 machine.
Shane Taryn. Go ahead.
I was going to say coming down to the hairpin, Tyler Hensley didn't drive it in quite as deep, but now the 48 machine right onto the back bumper of the 5 once again. He drove it in really deep into the hairpin.
How hard did he drive it?
You heard me.
As we come through the start-finish line up the hill into turn number 1, Massey has gotten right to the back bumper of the 5 machine of Hensley. The 5 has also got to the back of Shane Taryn, and Justin Munsell's at the end of this battle. So we have a pretty good battle shaping on from about 3rd to even 8th as Cole Begunia is starting to get in on the action.
Yeah,
Shane
Begunia, go ahead.
Shane Taryn is on those 2 tires. I think he's holding up this pack just a little bit.
Yep, Begunia starting to catch up to the rear of this field as well, and these guys are starting to get all bundled up underneath the blanket now as Hensley looking for a way around to the 38 machine.
Over the curb here as we enter the S's, right now Hensley has a pretty good shot to get by the 38 of Taryn if he can get through the S's and take a dive at it in the hairpin. Let's see how well he gets through if any of them makes a mistake.
Hensley got through pretty good.
Now this is the key corner. Who gets the run off? If you get a good run off, you can dive it in the hairpin. If you don't, Taryn.
Oh, Taryn got really loose over there. He clipped the dirt. Hensley gonna try to dive it in right to the back bumper of Taryn. Almost making contact on exit there. And the 48 machine got right to the back bumper of the 5 that time as well.
It's pretty much turning into an outbreaking battle there. It's almost as if someone's trying to scare each other into going in deep and maybe missing their marks. But here comes Massey right to the back bumper of the 5. And here comes Hensley kind of going a lane up there in turn 2. Missed his marks. That's going to let Massey get even closer.
Yeah, I think Massey driving it in deep kind of scared Hensley just a little bit and made him go wide in the next corner.
Everyone kind of spun their tires off that last corner there, but Hensley still right again to the back bumper of the 38 of Taryn. Taryn on 2 tires, I do believe, as you guys said, and he's kind of maybe holding these guys up. Hensley dives to the inside, not going to work. He's forced to lock up the brakes. The 38's machine chopped off the nose, and that's going to allow the 48 to dive underneath the 5.
And don't look now, Justin Munsell took a look on the inside and outside of Massey here. Massey got a little loose off the curb there as he's going through the S's, but here comes Hensley with the best run he's had yet on Shane Taryn.
Coming through the money corner, as Corey likes to call it. Who can get the best
Massey
run out of
goes
here?
wide there. That's going to let Munsell to the inside. Just call Massey Luke Bryan. He kicked up the dust there. Here we come into the hairpin.
Massey trying to hold his ground onto the outside lane there. Not going to work. That's going to allow the 22 machine to slip by Massey. And now the 22 has his eye set on the 5 machine.
Hensley got really loose out of that final corner there. He lost all the ground to Taryn.
So now let's see, now that the 22 has a little bit of room to breathe here to get to the back of Hensley, can he make anything happen and maybe pull off a surprise pass here and get a little higher than we've seen him yet today?
Hensley spins the tires off of turn number 1, now coming down into turn number 2. But it looks like Hensley has a pretty good run coming down the hill now.
Up front, worth noting, the battle has gotten a little bit closer. Right now, Fenlison is only about 3/4 of a second. He was over a second behind, so he is making some headway. We'll let you know if anything does happen, but can't let this battle go here from 3rd to 7th as it's still getting tight with 10 laps to go. Coming soon, anyways.
10 laps to go, coming soon.
Coming soon to a race near you is 10 laps to go.
But Shane Taryn doing a good job of holding his ground here on these tires that he does have.
He went a little wide there.
Hensley maybe going to try and move down into the hairpin, not close enough. The 22 locks up his brakes a little bit, going down into the hairpin, trying to gain ground on Hensley.
Now remember, Taryn is on those 2 tires, 2 right side tires. Kind of a dangerous call on a road course to go with right side tires, but it is seeming to work well at the moment, but he missed his marks in turn 2 here at the top of the hill. Hensley's going to go for it side by side. This is not a passing zone, and Hensley knows so. He will back off.
Yeah, Hensley got a little bit loose there going into that corner. Just kind of let Taryn go.
Taryn knows Hensley is right there now, though, and Hensley was able to show his nose and let him know, hey, I'm faster than you. I know that you know that I'm there. And Hensley maybe going to try to go over a position here really shortly.
Looks like Hensley is faster, but he's faster in the wrong spots on the track, which ultimately isn't really going to help him out too much. He's going to have to really nail this turn here. He's going to have to nail this left and then nail the right-hander to the straightaway to the hairpin.
He did a pretty good job through both those corners.
Here he comes.
Side by side.
He should have it.
Deep to stay side by side.
Can Taryn pull a crossover here? Does not look like he will, but here comes Munsell. A little bit of almost some contact there. Munsell got loose there as he tried to get to fill in the gap and get by 38. Massey side by side nearly with the 22 of Munsell here as we go up the hill. Massey to the outside, and they're still holding that position side by side as we go into the little kink here. A little bit of contact made. Can the 22 save it?
22 going around.
He's going to spin in the middle of the track right in front of Begunia. Will they throw a yellow out or let it be? They will let it be. kind of go back and watch that happen yet again from the chopper cam here. You can see a little bit of contact made there at the bottom of that little section right there, caused the 22 to get loose over the curb and spin in the middle of the track. He waited for everyone to clear before he did re-merge, but that will cost him probably the top 5 run he may have had.
Finlayson is kind of starting to inch his way towards Bressie.
We'll bring up
a tenth or so quicker each lap.
We'll bring up on the battle tracker this time by what the interval was and now is once they cross the stripe. Bressie with an 18.7 and Finlayson with an 18.6, so 1/10 is the difference. There's 8/10 separating them and 8 laps to go, so my math says photo finish. But that's of course saying he continues to run this lap, this 10th a lap better pace than the 24.
Yeah, he's got to run 7 lap fresher tires.
Keep the battle tracker up to get a live interval here. Right now it's up to 9/10, but as we go through the heavy braking zone and looks like the 13's really going for it, he chopped some time now. Now let's see through the S's here. Through any turn on the track that the tires would come into play, the S's will really favor the 13 as you need all the grip you can get going through this sector.
Yeah, and Finlayson has closed in about 2/10. He's only half second back.
Now let's see how he chooses to run the hairpin. If he goes for the dive to gain time, or if he goes for the better exit. Looks like he went for the dive, gained about 2 or 3 car lengths through the entry and center, but got loose on exit and then let that go back to Bressie.
Finlayson lost a lot of ground there off the hairpin. Bressie, a lot of time being gained. He's maybe a little bit more comfortable, but he still has to be careful. He can't make any mistakes because Finlayson able to make up a ton of ground there just through turn number 1.
Going up the hill here. Here comes Bressie. Looks like the 13 was able to make some time up there as well, just a bit. Seems like overall, it seems like he's kind of stuck at being 3/4 of a second back. He may get down just a little bit, but then he loses right back to where he was as we enter this right-hander back into the S's. You can see he really dove it in there and was able to make it stick. Let's see if he can hold through the S's and maybe take a shot at it in the hairpin or at least gain some time.
I think Finlayson needs to kind of back up the hairpin just a little bit because that's where he's losing most of his time.
It just seems so obvious to just dive it in and close in, but you can close in on entry. You got a little loose there through turn 10. May have actually worked to his advantage a little bit, but it just seems so obvious to get on the brakes and try to close in, but you have to set yourself up for corner exit. That's where the time's gained, and he did a pretty good job of it that time.
Yeah, he gained a lot of time there.
Yeah, Finlayson gaining quite a bit of time on Bressie now.
As the laps tick away, only 6 laps left. We'll go on board here and kind of follow Finlayson in his quest right here as we go through the top of the hill.
Now, did Thomas Bressie maybe burn off his tires a little bit too much that run?
He may have done so, especially with the extra time on them, that it may be coming to hurt him towards the end of this run and the end of this race. As right now, looks like Finlayson's kind of calmed himself down a little bit, starting to focus, and he's about closer now than I've seen him ever be.
Right to the back bumper, the 24 Bressie losing a little bit on exit though.
Bressie gets loose, a little bit of tire spin there from the 24 machine. Finlayson maybe going to try to jump onto the opportunity. He gained a little bit of ground out of that corner now through the S's, coming down ready for the final, the left and the right-hander here.
If he can get through this turn, this is what's going to set you up for a last lap or any lap pass. And it looks like Bressie has it down, but as they go into the hairpin with the late braking of the 13, he will close in at least for the center. But can he get off exit?
He did get a pretty good exit.
Finlayson a little bit closer that time than he has been off the hairpin. Bressie has a little bit more momentum going down into turn number 1, but we know turn number 1 to the 13 tends to be a little bit better.
5 laps to go, he's going to get it.
This is as close as he's been. He's right to the back bumper, top of the hill here. If he can hold this, he may have a chance in the chute at those 2 right-handers. Let's see as we go down the hill there, up across the blind crest. Gap has stayed the same. Let's see. There might be 2 chances coming up for him right now.
If he can get through the hairpin, or if he can get through the S's, the best chance he's going to have is the hairpin.
He's going to take the wider right-hander there, maybe get a little bit of a look there, not quite, but he's still as close as he's been. 5 laps to go, coming to 4 to go. We were giving Bressie this race on a silver platter earlier in the race, but what do you know, with pit strategy and cautions, we have a heck of a battle for the win in our hands tonight, folks.
The 24 machine got a pretty good run that time by through the final corner here until the hairpin. Coming up to turn 11 now. Fenlison got into the grass just a little bit there, or the dirt here at Sonoma Raceway. He gets a good run into the entry of the corner right to the back bumper, and not a bad run off as well.
Yeah, Bressie went a little bit wide through the center, and that helped Fenlison to get in even more time.
And as I kind of alluded to earlier, it looks like Bressie is better in the turns he needs to be. Oh, off of turn 2 here. 13 got right to the back bumper. It made a little bit of contact.
A little bit of a bump, a little bit of a shove down into turn number 1. That's not going to phase Bressie, but Bressie knows that he's right there now.
Bressie loose down the hill.
Looking in his mirror.
Bressie got loose down the hill there, a little overzealous on the throttle. And just
now
as I say that,
gets loose that time.
Both of these drivers giving it their all right now. We all know the 13 has better tires, but we know the 24 may be a little faster on pace. Both of these scenarios coming together here as we exit the end of this race. 3.5 laps to go through the S's. The 24 gains a little bit of time back.
He's not out of the clear yet. Anything could still happen in these 3 3/4 laps here. Coming down to the hairpin, see how hard Fenlison drives it in to try to catch up. He drives it in pretty hard. Bressie locks up the brakes though.
Bressie with a little bit better of a run out of the hairpin. 3 laps to go at the line.
The 13 has showed a couple signs of life. He's showed a couple cards. But ultimately, he's going to have to come up with something because he's back to the gap he's been stuck at about half a second. He's shown a couple moves, but none of them have worked. So he's going to have to start plotting and take a couple deep breaths, focus, and try to get another shot at it.
Thomas Bressie gets a good run down to the hill here, now going in to the corner, and looks like they run pretty much the same line through that corner there.
As we come through the hard right-hander, which leads us into the S's, this is the best setup chance. Bressie a little loose on the throttle as he exited the curve there. Didn't look like it affected him on the stopwatch at all.
Fenlison did get a little bit closer that time. Not the best run that he wanted through the S's there, but they were both pretty flawless. Now coming into the right-hander here.
13 almost drifts that turn there. It really gets me unsettled that he's getting loose. I don't know if it's on purpose or not. As we enter the hairpin, looks like he has gained some time. Let's see again, the corner exit, it's where it's important. And
Fenlison spins his tires big time off the hairpin. He's going to lose a lot of time.
I think Fenlison's going to need Bressie to make a mistake for him to get back up there.
I think
2 laps to go.
I think he's going to have one more chance to get right back to it, but he has to be patient and trust himself. I think he's just getting a little too excited, and that little 1% extra is costing him.
Yeah, absolutely, and Bressie just flawless for the most part all night long. Fenlison just had one little mistake and he lost all that time here. He's gonna have to hope that he put enough pressure on Bressie to maybe wear out his tires, maybe force him to drive a little bit harder, and Fenlison trying to make his way back up to him, but I think Bressie needs to make a mistake.
Fenlison got through that corner really good. He walked him up a little bit, but that didn't hurt him much.
He just has to stay calm, stay collected, just run his line. He knows he is a little bit faster, and when he gets to the hairpin, he cannot over dive bomb it like he has been doing.
He needs to get that good run off the hairpin this time to see if he can have a little bit of a shot coming here to the white flag. Fenlison dives down into the hairpin. He has a really good low line. He ran a really good line through there that time. Gets off, looks like they both have the same amount of momentum off the corner. White flag is in the air one more time around Sonoma Raceway.
The gap is 1 second at the line right now, so I think it's going to take a critical error from Bresci to really change the end result of this race. But as we come through turn 2, nice smooth run. Actually, Bresci got a little bit of wheel spin there, but not enough to bring the 13 back to him.
Bresci needs to make a big mistake here if he's going to throw this one away, and but Fenelison put up a really good effort here towards the end of this race, all throughout the last stage, and he's been able to hold some really good ground as he gets really loose there off that corner, able to hold it. Bresci now coming through the sharp right-hander, working his way into the S's.
Come through the S's, everything clean as a whistle for the number 24 machine. He's doing what he needs to do, just keeping on the track, keeping that gap stable, and he only has 3 or 4 more corners to navigate.
I don't know what 3 or more corners means, but for Thomas Bresci coming down through the hairpin, pretty much flawless all night. He locks him up a little bit. Fenelison not going to have much for him. Fenelison clips the tires on exit of the corner. But Thomas Bresci and the number 24 machine going to come away with a victory here tonight at Sonoma Raceway in the Hardline Racing Fast Track Sims Cup Series.
First road course win of the season goes to the 24 of Bresci. A very hard drive. Had the fastest car all race, but had to give a heck of a drive to hold off the 13. We offer him our congratulations. We'll go to a quick side-by-side commercial break and get post-race interviews. Stay with us. Clear.
I grew up in Northern California. My parents were just really big race fans and took my sister and I to, sprint car races pretty much every Friday and Saturday night. So I did outlaw kart racing from 7 till I was 14. And then that's when I got into 360 and 410 wing sprint cars. There's just something about dirt racing that's just, you can't get anywhere else. I enjoy going back to race them whenever I can. I get to run, about 20 to 25 dirt races a year and try and, put on a show every time I'm there.
Battle for the lead, Kyle Larson to the inside.
And we're back here on PTRTV for the post-race show as Bresci does his burnouts here. We will bring the 3rd place finisher in the booth of Shane Taryn.
Shane Taryn, you got a copy?
I got you.
So we saw the first 15 laps really clean and green until that first stage came out, and then we had a caution or 2 after that. How was the race for you?
It was fun at the end. It was pretty boring throughout the rest of the race because you can't even put any gas into the setup. I don't know what they did with this, but I don't know what Bresci and Michael were doing, but none of us could get any speed out of these cars without spinning out. So, but the most fun I had is when we were beating on each other. So,
yeah, it seems like consistency got you 3rd place. How was the pit strategy for you? Were you trying to do anything different, or what? How was that?
I just wanted track position because I knew I wasn't going to win, and I'm racing for points with Cole. So I was like, I got to get in front of Cole because he's faster than me. So that's literally the only reason why I took 2 tires.
How did the 2 tires drive compared to the 4?
It was good, and my tires were still 100%, so I felt like I was on 4.
Alright, anyone you'd like to thank or give a shout out to?
Thank you guys for, broadcasting Cody for the league, and then my Rubbins teammates, Nick and Josh, who raced tonight, and then congrats on Bresci on the win, and then Justin Munsell is a good friend of mine.
Alright, congrats on your finish. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
And Corey will talk to 2nd place finisher, Michael Fenelson.
All right, Michael Fenelson, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so you gave it everything you had there at the end of the race. You had a couple shots at Bressie. What could you have done differently there to maybe got by him there in the latter stages?
Yeah, that was really difficult late to try to get past Bressie. I mean, I was on, I think, what about 2-3 lap fresher tires because I pitted before the caution came out. And actually, I just went brain dead. I don't know what the strategy was, but I'm pretty sure I had fresher tires by a little bit. And I just tried to run them down. I did really late there, but I feel like we were just pretty much really equal with each other. And I caught him those few times, I think, with 4 to go. But then I got loose off one of the corners, and in turn 1 I almost plowed right in the back of him, so I had to back off there. But that was a lot of fun, definitely. It's really hard to pass at a track like this where there's pretty much only one passing zone, which is into that final corner, and that's why I was driving it hard every time into there, but I just couldn't make it work. It was really hard to pass, even on fresher tires. But it was a lot of fun. Congrats to him. We were obviously really quick together. We were pulling away from the field 33 seconds that run, so that was pretty impressive. And yeah, good win to him. It was a good comeback race for me. I haven't raced this league in a while. I took a little break from it. Yeah, hopefully we move on the next week, and I'll start running more in this league, definitely. So just got to thank my sponsors, Mobile One, Rento, hopping on board this game. It looks really nice out here, New England Racing Fuel, and teammate Shane and them. They were a lot of fun too tonight, trying to defend their positions. Shane got a 3rd, so congrats to him.
All right, Michael, you basically did my interview for me. You asked every single question and answered every question I was going to ask, so I'm just going to congratulate you on your 2nd place finish, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, no problem. Thanks, guys.
The easiest interview I've ever had in my life. I'll take it.
Yeah, I wish I had your interview.
But now it is time to talk with your race winner. Thomas Bressie comes home with a victory here tonight at Sonoma Raceway. I'm down here with him with the microphone. And Thomas, how'd your car feel all night? Obviously, you had a ton of speed here tonight. Give us a little bit of summary of your race.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was very difficult to try and keep the rear tires together, but that's kind of the challenge of Sonoma. And then that second caution, everyone pitted because I didn't think a lot of people. I thought a lot of people would stay out, and also I kind of figured people would do the opposite of what I did. So everyone pitted, and I had old tires, and I was hanging on for dear life those last like 20 laps.
Yeah, the end of the stage, we had another unexpected full course yellow there. Was there any thought in your mind about maybe coming down to take tires during that second caution?
I mean, I thought about it, but we only ran like what, a lap or something like that. So I didn't think the tires were going to be, I mean, I know like there's pretty good fall off, but I didn't think it was going to be that important in the long run, but it ended up working out. So I think honestly, and because I feel like if I pitted, a lot of guys maybe would have stayed out, and honestly probably would have been more difficult to try and work my way back through the field than just to stay out, be up front, and try to tough it out. But it ended up working out surprisingly, so that's certainly good.
What was going through your mind within the final 5 laps of this thing? Michael Fendelson was right on your back bumper that whole time.
What was going through my mind was, wow, I really wish I had taken tires on that last caution, because he was getting off the corners a heck of a lot better than I was. So I was pretty worried, and I was, you know, I think it was like 2 to go or something. He made a couple little mistakes, and I got a couple of tenths. It wasn't a lot, but it was just enough that I felt like maybe I had a gap that I could work with, and I was just praying he didn't get to me down into 11 coming to the checkered or something like that. He got close, and on top of that, I also overdid it a little bit. But I was very much hoping that you know, maybe I could hold him off. I honestly didn't think it was gonna, like, I was gonna be able to keep him behind me, because every lap I was just noticing the tires difference more and more. So I'm just thankful I was able to keep him behind me and finally get a win on the cup side of things this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and an awesome job you did tonight. A rocket ship of a race car that you were driving. And is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course. Just the guys at JT Motorsports, Casey, Joel, Tyler, especially because a number of years ago when we used to race on console, he was the one who taught me how to drive this place, because he was the guy to beat, and then he shared his book of knowledge with me. And So I've been fortunate to do pretty well here ever since. But you guys, of course, for doing the broadcast, everyone that tuned in, I hope you all enjoyed the race. And of course, Cody Tabor for what he does to keep the league running and everything that he does. So appreciate that as well.
Awesome job tonight once again, and congratulations on your victory. Thank you for talking with us. Once again, your race winner tonight here at the Sonoma Raceway, Thomas Bressie.
All right, and a heck of a drive and a heck of a race there for these drivers. Did a lot of good battles that we followed throughout the entire race. So congrats and a good job to the Hardline Racing guys. So let's wrap it up with the finishing results and sponsors, and we'll call it a night here. Finishing results here from the Hardline Racing League's race at Sonoma goes to, obviously the victory going to Thomas Bressie. We give him our congratulations. Then Michael Fenlison in the second position. Shane Tarrant got third tonight. Then we have Justin Munsell, Cole Begunia, Nick Massey, Tyler Hensley, Casey Shue, Joel Holloway, and Josh Adams, the top 10.
Briar LaPrade finishing in the 11th position, Cody Tabor in 12th, and Nick Olson in 13th, rounding out the field.
That is your finishing order here tonight. Give a quick shout out to our channel sponsors, Air Movement Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. That's Air Movement Fabrications. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint teams, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. Also, other partners on the channel include iBog Overlay Graphics. It's iBog iRacing Overlay Graphics. He did our overlays, and we absolutely love them. He helped us out big time with our custom overlay set. If you're a broadcasting company looking for custom iRacing overlays for your company, go check out Jason Allison on iBog.co. Also, Tabor Web Design. He did our website. He can do yours too. Check him out and see what he did to our website at PrimetimeRacingTV.com.
So that's another broadcast here on PTRTV. We brought you the Hardline Racing League tonight. I hope you enjoyed the first road course race that we've brought to you. Still looking for partners for next season. A couple openings. Still contact us if you're interested in your league being covered here on PTRTV. Would love to have you on board with us. So again, signing out of the booth is Corey Silva, Evan Black, and Brandon Krutz. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a great night.
Catch you next time.